The next guy I want to talk about, Alex Pietrangelo. Now, Leaf fans are salivating, dying, wanting him to come here on, for some reason, $1 million a season. You're out of your minds. You're lying to yourselves. Stop it. He wants to stay in St. Louis. They've got 7 weeks to figure this out. There hasn't been a lot of conversation, according to CJ and Freege. However, they got 7 weeks to figure it out, so they'll figure it out. If he wants to stay in St. Louis and St. Louis wants to keep him, Alex Pietrangelo is a guy, I think he's so good that I know he's 30. I know that it's going to be a kind of a scary contract, but this is a team that next year, relatively unchanged, will challenge for the Stanley Cup again. Half the contract is Tyler Bozak. You can move Tyler Bozak. You can move a $5 million center. So there's half your contract. And then what did he make this year? $5 million. Did Pietrangelo make $5 or $6 million? One guy.
I want to say 6.
Okay, so if he wants to get close to 8 or 9, you say, we'll move our third line center. We'll find someone else. We're going to put you in, and it costs you $3 or $4 million bucks. You do it. You do it every day.
He made fascinated 6.5. 6.5.
Oh my God! So they need
great deal.
So that money. So that's interesting because that money's already there on the cap. So they just need to find $2.5 or $3 more million.
So there are guys who want to go to situations where they're going to win. And Pietrangelo, I mean, hard to blame them for staying in St. Louis. They won. Even if they lost this year, they have won. But I wonder, we don't know what next season's going to look like at all.
No.
And this bubble situation, COVID and everything, I wonder if guys are going to want to play closer to home. And for a lot of guys, that's the GTA.
Mm-hmm.
And for an even bigger chunk of the NHL, that's just Canada. It's just anywhere in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
So, an interesting target, not necessarily for Pietrangelo, but for some free agents, if some really weird trades happen. Who's the only Canadian team left? Vancouver.
Ooh.
And if you want to win...
Tanev's coming off the books. So, as much as they love Tanev...
If hockey players love recency bias, it's why Jerome McGinley signed with the Colorado Avalanche, breaking my heart. But he shouldn't have done that when he did. Oh, well. And then I think it forced him into retirement. Is that right, boys? Is that right? Anyway... they love recency bias, and all I know is some guys, they're going to be looking at their list this summer, or fall. They're going to be looking at their list, and they're going to go, I want to play in Canada, and I want to win. There's one team left that has a chance to win. That's all I'm saying.
And so Pietrangelo will be a St. Louis Blue. So he's not leaving. And if I'm the GM, I'm not letting him leave. Now, Calgary, much like Toronto, and again, Calgary and Toronto are each other. They're just mirror images of each other in the different conference.
In many ways.
In many, many ways. Had another disappointing early exit. So your question becomes, what now? And Luke Fox put out some interesting things about acquiring Johnny Gaudreau. He said, teams curious about acquiring Johnny Gaudreau, who apparently is on the trading block now, potentially, from the Calgary Flames this offseason, must absolutely be concerned about his ability to perform in big moments. Gaudreau's .96 career points per game production rate in regular season shrinks to .63 come playoff time. But there's great financial incentive here. Gaudreau, once he collects his $3.5 million signing bonus for 2020-2021, whatever the new July 1st is, that's when he's going to get it. An acquiring club could get 2 seasons of him for less than $10 million. Now, that's not what it's going to be against the cap. It's going to be 6 something, but all the same, less than $10 million bucks for probably 120, 130 points over 2 years, or maybe more. Not bad. You have to think there's something here. The Flames have got to do something, much like the Leafs do. There are many teams that are looking for scoring. The Flames, I think, are also looking for scoring, which makes this complicated, right? Because if you lose Gaudreau, what do you replace it with? But he doesn't perform the way you need him to in the playoffs.
Right.
So
trading Johnny Gaudreau doesn't seem like a way to make your team better.
I don't think so.
You're losing a great skilled player.
And unless you're going skill for skill, or who's from Calgary?
Taylor Hall. Johnny Gaudreau is the kind of player that gives you a migraine because you have this exact conversation and it goes in a circle. You look at his regular season performance and you go, how on earth do we make our team better by getting rid of Johnny Gaudreau?
Right.
And then you look at the playoffs and you go, like, okay, maybe next year's playoffs is when it happens. Maybe the playoffs after that. Maybe how long are you willing to do that? Mm-hmm. And I think the Flames are sick of it. I don't know about the fans. I'm sure there's a lot of Gaudreau jerseys that are going to need replating. But management's been there for a while now, and I think they're sick of it.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's going to move. How do you make the team better? Jesse, I don't know. I don't know. But there's other guys who can score in the NHL. And ironically, you're trying to shake up your team, somehow get scoring, and somehow get a guy who can perform in the playoffs. And you're going to do that with Taylor Hall? A guy who's barely ever been there?
I mean, it's just
Flames have a lot of questions.
Well, because you bring in Taylor Hall, and then you get the assets that Gaudreau got you. So you're net positive.
Sure. But
that'd be lovely.
I feel like before you trade Johnny Gaudreau, the problem should be all of the terrible contracts that are on the books for the Flames. It's like the Milan Lucic deal is $5.25 until 2024.
And that penalty in that last game that he took, 2 penalties. The 3-0 penalty and the 3-3 penalty cost them the series.
That's not how I guarantee they go, that's just Luch.
Right.
And they look at it they look at his point streak. That guy set a Flames record in these playoffs.
Come on.
Are the Flames are the Flames about to have a really stupid offseason?
Yeah. And then like the Backlund deal. Backlund's 31 and he makes 5.35 until 2025.
They got a bunch of those death deals, eh?
Yeah.
Like a bunch of those not top end, not necessarily wicked value, not necessarily like okay, they had Matthew Tkachuk in the press box for that elimination game, which is killer for them. He's their highest paid forward for a reason. He's their game breaker though. Like again, just going through their lineup, like who's the guy who you'll put up mano-a-mano against anybody in the league? Gaudreau?
Mm-hmm.
No. Monahan? No. Backlund? No. Lucic? No. Lindholm? No. Other than, I haven't named a bad player yet.
Nope.
And Lucic proved to be better than we thought. I haven't named a bad player yet, but I haven't raised my eyebrows at anything.
Right.
You know what I mean? You any of the teams left in the playoffs, you take their cores and you put them up against that. I take any of the teams left in the playoffs. You look at their defense. Giordano, Hannafin, Brody, Hamonic. Oh, now we're talking. They added Gustafsson at the deadline from Chicago. Now we're talking. Giordano is 36.
He's going to be 40 when this contract ends.
I'm pretty sure, isn't TJ Brody up?
TJ Brody is
Isn't Hamonic
up.
as well?
Hamonic is up. Forbort is up. Gustafsson is up. Stone is up. Shillington is an RFA. And they have Rasmus Anderson, who they've extended. So, by the way, adding to their cap situation, Rasmus Anderson's going from making $750 to $4.5. Right. So that's pretty dude.
There seems to be a lot of just contract problems in Calgary.